The Line 3 IAMC is a committee of dedicated Indigenous nations representatives, Canada and the regulator. It started about 6 years ago with the decision from the Minister of Natural Resources to create two IAMCs, one for TMX and one for Line 3, in an effort to ensure that Indigenous nations had the opportunity to meaningfully participate in the process.
So that was changed from August 11th.
The committee has a mandate around bringing together Indigenous nations, the regulator and the Government of Canada to form that three-way partnership as a basis for further work. And first and foremost, it's about inclusion in Indigenous monitoring and oversight of the Line 3 pipeline. And also it's about providing advice to government.
We just want to make sure that we're included, not only just at the federal or provincial levels, but with industry. You know, we want to go forward as partners and to be understood that we have concerns of Mother Earth.
When we first sat down at the table, we were divided, you know, even divided between provinces with different nations, say First Nations, Métis. Now when we sit down in a room, you know, we're coming together.
At first it was very overwhelming, the amount of information that was coming to us, because this is our second job. We still have our full-time jobs, you know, and the amount of emails and the amount of information, everything that was coming to me, I'm on my own doing that. So like personally, I'm glad I stuck it out. That's my personal milestone.
For me, from the Métis perspective, is that is really an opportunity to be out there and to be able to confirm for our citizens that Enbridge and the proponents are doing what they're saying they're going to do. We're out there with the regulators, with CER, so they've got rules, companies got rules they got to follow, right? The environmental protection plan and stuff, and so they have to follow that. We're out there to verify that that's being done.
Preemptively, by setting up these committees, what the Trudeau government has done is essentially given us access to decision-making processes that affect our treaty right. The right to be a part of any decision that affects our way of life and impact to our treaty right is what this committee does.
And so the committee members are now aware that you guys are here to help us perhaps chart a new course.
So we want to be involved, we want to be engaged, we want to be decision makers at the table, just like our First Nations neighbors, colleagues, friends, and relatives.
To me, at first, I didn't know what the Indigenous Monitor really was, but to me, it's looking after the land and watching and helping everything get back, keep it the way it is.
There has obviously been challenges along the way. Timing has always been a big thing. The types of training that we have to do for Indigenous monitors has been something that we've had to grow and adapt to, just based on the needs that the CR has, and learning how to get the capacity to be able to provide that training, to have a roster of monitors that we can pull from, and just being able to have those opportunities to be working together.
And you guys have free reign to type in whatever you want as to what's going on in the specific location.
There were a number of people that made it to the powwow. We were able to, you know, we walked around, we were able to eat, and we were able to see what was a traditional powwow at Cowessess. We heard the chief there. We saw the dancers and felt the energy and the drum and the singing. That's one of the benefits of the committee, is being able to do things like the powwow, where we can come together and we can learn together.
You have to understand culture, the differences in culture, even on, say, within one reserve or between Métis and the borders, and say even provinces within the difference of Métis. And once you understand those, then that's going to help you or proponents or individuals be able to be successful in understanding the rights and how to care for the land.
The Line 3 IAMC is the first of its kind. No other IAMC existed at the time, and even though the minister created two, the TMX IAMC was more than a year behind. So when the Line 3 committee was created, construction had already started on the Enbridge project, and the committee was very much boots on the ground, hit the ground running.
Sometimes I feel it's my responsibility to have regional meetings, but it's not. It's Enbridge's responsibility. It's called long-term engagement, and they bring me in there to explain the process and what I've learned and what I've seen, what I've understood so far, so that I can explain it to our leadership and our constituents of our First Nations community.
So now the oil was going to go this way and around here, and hopefully the pig will get caught.
That insight, that collaboration is continuing as we work on Line 3 decommissioning that is occurring right now in the fall of 2022. It's been a great partnership. We want to maintain that relationship and that ongoing work with First Nations, Métis governments and groups like the IAMC. And to us, that's the right way to do business. That's good business, that's respectful business.
We've received excellent advice from the Line 3 members that are helping us at the CER to work to improve our regulations and our expectations of companies. We've also been able to build lasting relationships that are helping us to address issues when they arise.
The Communication and Engagement Subcommittee is a vital part of the IAMC because our task is getting out the relevant information to the general public.
It's not just about the Enbridge Line 3 project, it's about this fundamental change in the way projects are licensed in Canada and the way that they're regulated in Canada. And this committee is an example of how that relationship can evolve, but not just that relationship, how those roles can evolve.
In the past, it was always a one-way street, where government comes in with their approvals and industry continues to develop and develop resources. But now, with basically a renewed relationship, there's input and participation from First Nations moving forward on projects.
It's also too building the relationships with National Resources Canada and the CER. I think those are really, really important to see how we all work together as one for a common goal.
I commend the government. I commend the CER. I commend Enbridge in this case in regards to how and way in which Indigenous people have been involved.
I had the opportunity to build relationships with the Canadian Energy Regulator and then also Enbridge, the proponents themselves, and then the other Indigenous monitors from across Western Canada has been great. And in a lot of those instances, I've been able to build a relationship and be able to call some of those people friends now.
Well, this is our place. We have to look after this place the best we can. And the government can do it, we'll do it. That's what we're here for. We believe this is our Mother Earth, and it is our responsibility to make sure that our Mother Earth is well looked after.
First Nation people are considered the stewards of the land, so I think anything that's in the land and in the ground and that affects us and affects our communities, I think we should have some say into that.
It's a way fundamentally in which people can come together, start to build trust and build shared understanding among each other, and then that helps to support those broader goals around building trust within the systems that we have for ensuring that we've got good natural resources management and good approaches to being able to make decisions in the regulatory process.
One of the sessions we're having today is to come up with some kind of a plan moving forward and making sure that our First Nations are heard.
So my perspective of the goals moving forward from the IAMC, the committee has the role and responsibility, to my mind, of ensuring emergency management opportunities, ensuring that Indigenous monitors are on the line, being stewards of the land. At the same time, I think the committee has an opportunity to expand its scope, both to other projects that are regulated by the Canada Energy Regulator and potentially to other projects that are within the same sort of pipeline, transmission line type of work.